really keep a couple of Scourges around with those Mutalisks to pick off that first Science Vessel. If Xavier could do that, Xavier actually going for the Greater Spire right now. He's not gone for the Defiler's Den as of yet, or I think actually he might have and I missed it, but he certainly decided to go for he has got the Defiler's Den up as well, and he's also getting the Greater Spire up. I'm not sure if he has enough Mutalisks, but really he's now got the Scourge coming in. This is going to be crucial. If he can take out the Science Vessel, he's going to slow Flash down significantly, and Xavier takes down the first Science Vessel, and that's going to buy him, a hell of a lot of time. That's exactly what Xavier needs. Taking down that first Science Vessel is absolutely critical, because Flash now cannot venture forward. Those Lurkers look to be on hold, because certainly that Medic and Marine group is within range of those Lurkers. I'm sure Flash is waiting for a Science Vessel arrive. I think Xavier might have to actually unhold those Lurkers now and do some damage, because Flash moving forward, this is going to be disastrous for Flash. He gets a scan off as Xavier's Lurkers start attacking. He actually managed to position his Medic and Marines quite well there. I'm surprised. A great micro by Flash. He lost hardly anything. I thought he would take a lot more damage. He got the scan off, and I really anticipated with those Marines walking right over those Lurkers that they would do a lot more damage to that Medic and Marine force, but Flash spreading his Marines in time with some great micro and targeting off those Lurkers, managing to do significant damage to Xavier. Xavier's now got those Guardians up. He needs to bring them into play. He needs to back them up with Lurkers and Zerglings or something. He can't just leave them on their own, because Flash has got a good spread of his Medic. It looks like Xavier's going in now, and he's gonna basically use the Guardians to push forward. Flash committing those Lurkers, and he really needed to have Lurkers burrowed under those Guardians, which he doesn't have. Flash is focusing those Guardians, and this is a little bit careless by Xavier. He lost a couple of Guardians in the process. Now he's got the Lurkers in play. Flash doesn't have any anti-air at this point in time. He only has a single Science Vessel, and he didn't seem to be able to he didn't cast a Radiate there. Maybe he's trying to conserve them, but Xavier, I think with maybe a couple more Guardians with a little bit of better positioning, could have done significant more damage to Flash, and he hasn't been able to do that as of yet. Flash now with an irradiated Science Vessel is trying to head for those Guardians, and really where are the Scourges? A couple of Scourges here would make all the difference to Xavier's game. He's again pushing forward. Flash defending excellently. Xavier's also got Defilers up. He's also got Defiler Swarm up, but you've really got to give a testament to Flash's micro here, holding up, but Flash is being pushed back. Xavier now managed to take out one of the siege tanks. Decent micro from Xavier as well, but again, I think he's really luring those Scourges. He had an excellent opportunity there on a few occasions to take down those two Science Vessels, and meanwhile I really anticipated that Xavier should have gotten another expansion up during that battle, and that's exactly what he's done. He's put up an expansion at the natural expo of the 9 o'clock base at around the 10 o'clock position, and now Xavier's Guardians are getting chased. He left those Guardians unprotected. He's going to lose all of his Guardians, so Xavier's going to lose all of his Guardians and his ability to push with them. And really, I think if you're going to commit yourself to a Greater Spire, you need to do more. You need to either have more Guardians or have more forces backing up the Guardians. Xavier trying to do too much of everything, getting the Defilers and the Lurkers and the Guardians, and not really committing himself to one strategy or another. And I think that's what's allowing Flash to stay alive in this game. And Flash is now building up a decent force. He's got a decent sized force of Medic and Marines still on the ground. He's continuing to pump those out. He's also got about 2 or 3 Science Vessels out, and Xavier doesn't really have much at all. And the nature of this map allows Flash to just move around Xavier's entrenched forces. Anytime Xavier burrows and swarms, Flash is just able to move around, and Xavier really needs to be playing a very different sort of game here. Xavier needs to be playing a game more of Plagues with Zerglings and Scourges as opposed to Swarms and Burrow. I think the Swarms and Burrows should be primarily a defensive tactic right now for Xavier, because Flash isn't allowing him. This sort of tactic that Xavier is employing is great against a large size force of the Terran War Machine where there are siege tanks involved. Now Flash, I think, has made the switch to a purely bio build. He's going to rely primarily on Medic and Marines and Science Vessels, and Xavier has to make the switch as well. Flash has got a couple of siege tanks primarily for defense, I feel, but Xavier's going to have to make the switch as well. I think he needs to get out. He needs to concentrate on getting that Plague up and getting more Scourges and taking those Science Vessels down. He cannot allow Flash to continue to build up his Science Vessel fleet. So Xavier has got so Flash once again venturing forward, and Flash again with impunity able to come forward with those Science Vessels and irradiate at will, because Xavier has got no Scourges. Now a Plague goes off. I don't think he managed to catch the Science Vessels critically in that. He caught a decent group of Medic and Marines, but he's lost his entire ground force there. Flash just killing off the possible expansion that Xavier was trying to set up at the 9 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Flash has built another command center of his own, deciding that he needs to get that third gas going at the 1 o'clock position. So Xavier losing the impetus. Xavier certainly seemed to be almost in control of the match. He almost seemed to be ready to finish Flash off when he had those Guardians and those Lurkers and those Defilers going, but Flash seems to have wrested away with some brilliant micro. Xavier with a single Lurker burrowed there at the point of at the entrance to the 1 o'clock expansion, but unfortunately that one Lurker wasn't enough. Had he had 2 Lurkers there, he would have probably killed off all of those SCVs and given himself a decisive advantage. And now Flash is the one with the impetus moving forward. He's built up a fleet of 5 Science Vessels, and where are the Scourges from Xavier? I really think his play has been very careless thus far, especially with the Scourges, and that's been a feature, unfortunately, of Xavier's weakness. That has been Xavier's main weakness, and I think Flash has realized that that's what he needs to pounce on. Xavier's Scourge micro has been his main weakness, and his use of Scourges so far in his games against against Flash. He's got a decent number of Scourges there, but he realizes that, and this time Saber cleverly putting the Scourges back, realizing that he's got a couple of swarms off under those Medic and Marines, but unfortunately, obviously, Flash can just fight a running battle. There's so much space for Flash to just keep going back and going back and going back, and Saber finally getting that Plague off. And again, this is what I think he needed to do. He needed to get the Plague off first before the Swarm. He needs to Plague a lot more, and I think Saber is hurting by not having Ultras here or not having Guardians, and it does seem to be a difficult map for Saber to fight on. Flash just has so much room to maneuver, and he's in place himself. Saber trying to burrow a Lurker, they're not able to do that. He's in place, and Saber's now got a group of Zerglings into Flash's expansion at the 1 o'clock base. He's got 9 Canals obviously, so he can get his defense up, but Saber's, to me, is losing too many troops without doing enough damage to Flash's forces. Flash has a large force that he just is constantly doing damage to. Saber is going to be able to take that Medic and Marine group out, and this would have been the point to get the Scourges in. Now the Scourges arrive for Saber. He should be able to take out a decent number of Flash's Science Vessels, and Flash only escapes with a single Science Vessel alive. Only one Science Vessel survives after that attack by Saber, so brilliant play by Saber there, conserving the Scourges. Flash, meanwhile, oh my god, I just didn't see this coming. I don't know where those dropships came from. Flash is coming on with 4 dropships, and he's going straight for the Juggler, going straight for Saber's main, and Saber's in huge trouble here. D-Matrix on the Marine goes off with the first drop, and Saber bringing in a large group of Zerglings, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He's going to try and take down one of those dropships, but he's not able to. Saber managed to get a swarm off, but Flash has got 2 control groups of Medic and Marines in Saber's main, and Saber's tech is going to go down, and this is going to swing the game in Flash's favor. The Evolution Chamber is going to go down. Saber doesn't have anything here. He doesn't have Lurkers or anything, and this is where he really needed them. The Ultralisk Cavern is going to go down. This is really going to be painful for Saber. Saber manages to get a Plague off, and again, I think, why was that? Why did he put up that swarm early? I think that was the mistake. Saber went for the swarm first. Had he put the Plague on initially, when he had some Zerglings to fight with, he would have had a better chance. Now the Defiler's Den is down. Saber's losing all of his tech, and I think he's going to struggle to recover from this. He really is. Finally, those Medic and Marines get taken out. It's the Plague that does the job rather than the swarm. He's now trying to take out the Queen's Nest. Saber waiting for more Zerglings to pop, and now this has given Flash the space and time he needs to maneuver. Saber still has that Greater Spire up, crucially, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. He'll at the very least be able to get Scourges and Zerglings going up, which is what he's been defending with in the main. He's managed to build a couple of Ultralisks before that Cavern went down. He's going to have to rebuild all of his tech, unfortunately. He's rebuilding an Ultralisk Cavern as well. But this is unfortunate for Saber, because that was the point. Just after he wiped out that force of Flash, looked like he had a chance, and he took out all those Science Vessels. Looks like he had a chance, but Flash, with that incisive drop, has fought himself back in the game. I totally did not see that drop coming, and neither did Savior, and it's cost him a huge amount. He'd obviously used up his Scourges, and he just didn't scout that at all, and I think even the people observing the game didn't scout it, because I didn't see them clicking on the dropships once before Flash was actually running in with the drop. Flash now is using the drops to maximum advantage. He's going to pick off another hatchery that Savior had built at the 11 o'clock position, keeping Savior's hatchery count down, while his main force heads for Savior's base at the 10 o'clock position. The Saber's sending a couple of Scourges to try and take out that dropship without any support, without any ground support, and not able to do so. This time Saber manages to get a Plague and a Swarm off, and this is the right way to go. He's got to get the Plagues off first. Again, Science Vessels, Scourges coming off by themselves, and Saber losing all of those Scourges without taking out a single Science Vessel, hoping to anticipate Flash caught in movement, but Flash catching them just in time, pulling his Science Vessels back. Great micro, yet again by Flash, and again Saber a little bit careless. We saw a moment of great Scourge micro, and really the old Saber has Scourge micro like that all the time throughout the game, and we're not seeing that here from Saber, and I think that's one of the differences in this game right now. Saber holding off those plagued Marines with a single Lurker and Hireless on that ramp. Great play by Saber there again. Flash, though, not out of it. He's kept Saber's hatchery count to a reasonable level. He's got his own Science Vessel fleet building, and he's delayed Saber significantly with that tech kill, with that drop of those 4 dropships, and I think any less Saber would have probably mopped it all up, and Flash has really swung the game back into balance here, and almost in his favor. And he is the one now putting the pressure, now putting the taking the impetus and forcing Saber to defend. Flash getting another expansion down at the 12:30 position, and now Saber is just able to irradiate at will. Flash is able to irradiate at will. He's irradiated those 4 Ultras, and they're going to go down to those Science Vessels. And yet again, Saber sacrificing another group of Scourges without killing a single Science Vessel. He's lost another 4 or 6 Scourges. And again, if you keep count of the number of Scourges Saber has lost, and you think of the number of Science Vessels and dropships he would have been able to kill with those Scourges, I think you can see what a difference it could make to the game had those would those Scourges have landed. And Saber playing very speculatively, more hope StarCraft than skill StarCraft when he uses the Scourges like that. Flash once again venturing forth. He's now built up a significant fleet of Science Vessels, and yet again he's now actually, and brilliant by Flash, irradiating the Scourge, and without even using a single Marine, he takes out about 6 or 7 Scourges that were flying together with an irradiate. Great play by Flash, and that is great StarCraft. I can't remember the last time a Terran player did that. I think it's something that we see very rarely from Terran players. Saber this time getting the Scourges in on those science vessels, managed to take out about 3 science vessels, but Flash has so many, and Saber not able to kill enough of them. I think Flash might very well be producing from 2 starports, considering that he got those dropships out and he was continually pumping science vessels. I would say Flash definitely has at least 2 starports with control towers pumping in his main. And Flash, despite taking certain decent losses too, and Flash looks like he's going for another drop, and really this is going to be the salt in the wound for Savior. Savior has got a few ground forces in the area though, but I'm not sure if he spotted this drop. He's going to lose his Heartless Den. He's also going to lose his Greater Spire, and the Spire is the more crucial thing here. I think Flash made a mistake of not taking out the Spire the last time, and you can see the camera focusing. And usually when they focus the camera on a player, it's a bad sign. And Savior has nothing. He doesn't have Defilers in his base this time. The Spire's alive so far. Last time Flash didn't take out the Spire. I think that would have been a better tech to take off even than the Ultra's Cavern, because it would stop Savior from getting Scourges for some time. So Savior's going to be able to mop up this drop in his main. He hasn't lost too much. I think he's lost only the Heartless Den and maybe an Evolution Chamber on that time, as well as probably distracted Savior's ground forces, but he hasn't done too much damage to Savior's tech with that drop. He's not managed to kill the Greater Spire, but he has